Well, we're now pleased to welcome in Capitals GM Chris Patrick. Chris, thanks so much for joining us today. I know it has been a busy, tiring week for you and a lot to get into, but first, I want to start with obviously the biggest news of the week for the Capitals, and that is John Carlson being traded to the Anaheim Ducks. We spoke to plenty of guys in the locker room today, Alex Ovechkin, Tom Wilson, Dylan Strome, and you could just see the raw emotion on their face. So as a GM, what goes into obviously doing what you have to do for your hockey team and also balancing some of the emotions that come with a player of that magnitude departing?
Yeah, it's hard. It's impossible not to get emotional about it with a guy like John or Nick, who've both been here for as long as they have and been so important not only to the team but to the community and to the organization. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to at some point just separate the emotions a little bit from what you feel like is the right thing to do in the situation you're in. And, you know, it felt like with where we were and the opportunity that we had with Anaheim to do that deal, it felt like it was probably the smart thing to do for us moving forward. And yeah, so it was not a fun night, not an easy call to make. But you know, John's a complete and total pro through and through, and he understood, and he's going to do great out there. I think it's going to be hard to pick between Vegas and Anaheim now for the Western team that I'm going to be following. But yeah, it's a hard day, and I understand why our players had a hard time with it. But you know, hopefully they can get through it today and be ready to go tomorrow.
How did you feel about the return, and were there other teams interested in John?
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine there's a lot of teams interested in John. He did have some trade protection, so that eliminated a lot of teams right away because we weren't going to talk to him about waiving any of that. And we weren't really actively pursuing much. Anything that came into me, I'd listen. It was kind of my position. And Anaheim was aggressive. Once they kind of decided to go that route, they were aggressive, and it came together pretty quickly yesterday, to be honest. And you know, it took some time to get through some of the details of it, so it went late into the night. And you know, I think there's a perception out there that we disrespected John by how we informed him, but I'll tell you, we put a lot of thought into how we informed John on this trade, and we felt like with the amount of leaking that happens on these trades, if we waited to try to do something in the morning, he'd risk waking up to an Instagram and Twitter account full of trade rumors. So we tried to respect John as much as we can, try to get it done last night, and try to you know, talk to him as soon as we can. So you know, left him a message late at night and then talked to him first thing in the morning. So.
Undoubtedly, these are the toughest calls you've had to make since you've been a general manager, moving on from Nick and John, two of the leaders on the team. What are you looking for your team going forward, and will you address the team about the moves that have been made?
Yeah, I need to talk to Carbs about that second question. I'm happy to do it if he thinks it's the right thing. You know, they're out of town now, got a game tomorrow, so by the time I'm in front of them again, it may be, you know, we're good, let's just move on. You know, for me, by no means are we throwing in the towel or waving the white flag. Like, I think this team is a good enough team to play in the playoffs, and I think they're a good enough team to qualify for the playoffs. We battled some injury issues this year. We had some games where maybe we needed a bigger game from our group and didn't get it. But I think we have a good enough group to be a playoff team, and I think we brought in some guys here to help, you know, supplement what we lost. And give us a good chance to make a run here. And I'm hoping the guys are ready to go. I'm hoping they're ready to make a good push and get in.
Despite the more somber mood today, as that kind of wears off and we do go down this playoff push, there's a lot of young talent to be excited about, specifically Cole Hudson most likely joining this team very soon. Even some of the guys in Hershey here, guys like Ilya Protas, whoever it might be, will they get some time this season as well? So as everyone sort of digests trade week, what emotions come with some of this young talent maybe emerging sooner rather than later, and what you can look forward to there?
Yeah, it would be nice if it all works out. Hopefully, you know, hopefully things continue to progress positively with Cole, and we get to see him just like we did with Ryan Leonard last year. And yeah, I think we need to look for an opportunity to get Ilya up here and see him in an NHL game, and and get Miroshnichenko up here and Trineyev up here, and but at the same time, we're trying to win hockey games too. So we got to put the best 12 forwards, the best 6D out that Karpstinks gives us a chance.
What can you tell me about the two new players that'll be joining the team, Timothy Liljegren and David Kampf?
Yeah, I mean, I think Timothy's kind of a 200-foot defender. Decent size, moves the puck pretty well, skates pretty well. Can provide some secondary offense, so it gives us a good option, a right shot guy, and David Kampf I would describe as kind of a pretty steady, safe, more defensive minded player, can penalty kill, good size, moves pretty well as well. So
center or wing?
Yeah, center or wing, mostly center. So gives us a good chance to I guess gives us another forward with some NHL experience that's so important this time of year.
So with going forward, what do you expect from the players that are on the roster? Like, who do you want to step up the most going forward? You've had players have breakout years last year, players starting to get their stride now. Who would you like to see step up the most and really finish strong down the stretch?
I mean, I think up and down the lineup, everybody's going to have to, bring their A games from here on out. I think getting Dubois back has been huge for our group. So I'd like to see, if it's Pro and Tom with Doobie, I want to see in that line can dominate, as we know they can. I'd like to see them doing that. I'd like to see Connor McMichael get his game to another level here for the last part of the season. And I think if he does that, that helps guys like Dylan Strome. I think that helps Alex. And we got some young guys like Justin and Ryan Leonard who've had kind of, they have their hot streaks, and then they have some streaks where they're a little bit cooler, and I'd like to see them try to elevate their game a little bit here down the stretch. I mean, I think every guy in the team needs to realize, we're playing playoff hockey now, and every game needs to have that kind of approach and mindset.
Well, Chris, really appreciate your time. Know it has been a very busy week for you, but we look forward to these next few weeks in the playoff push, and we thank all of you for tuning in at home as well.